Here's something every gardener should know, that a few tiny white spots on your plant today could destroy weeks or even months of hard work in your garden. The scary part is that most gardeners don't realize they're dealing with powdery mildew until it's already spreading from one plant to another. By then, their tomatoes stop producing, cucumbers struggle, squash leaves begin to die, and the harvest they've been waiting for starts slipping away. But here's the good news. If you catch powdery mildew early, it's one of the easiest plant diseases to control. In this video, I'll show you how to identify it before it gets out of hand, explain what really causes it, reveal the mistakes that make it spread faster, and share the most effective ways to stop it. Plus, stay with me until the end, because I'll answer one of the most common questions gardeners ask. Can you still eat vegetables from a plant infected with powdery mildew? The answer surprises many people. Before we begin, if you love practical, research-backed gardening tips that help you grow healthier plants and bigger harvests, subscribe to Grow Food Smarter and turn on notifications. Every week, I share simple techniques that can save your plants, increase your harvest, and help you avoid costly gardening mistakes. Now, let's get started. What is powdery mildew? Imagine walking into your garden one morning and seeing what looks like someone dusted your plants with flour. At first, you might think it's dirt, pollen, or even dust. But look a little closer. If those white patches look powdery and seem to spread day after day, you're most likely dealing with powdery mildew. Powdery mildew is one of the most common fungal diseases affecting home gardens. It attacks hundreds of different plants, including tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchini, squash, pumpkins, peppers, beans, grapes, roses, and many flowering plants. Although different fungi attack different plants, they all produce that familiar white, powdery coating on leaves, stems, and sometimes even flowers. Unfortunately, many gardeners ignore those first few spots because the plant still looks healthy. That's exactly how powdery mildew gains the upper hand. Why is powdery mildew so dangerous? Here's what many people don't realize. Those tiny white spots aren't just sitting on the leaf, they're feeding on your plant. As the fungus spreads, it blocks sunlight from reaching the leaf surface, making it harder for the plant to produce the energy it needs through photosynthesis. As a result, the plant becomes weaker, leaves begin to curl, they slowly turn yellow, growth starts to slow, flowers may drop before producing fruit, fruits become smaller. And if the infection continues unchecked, entire leaves can dry out and die. That's why powdery mildew isn't just an appearance problem, it can seriously reduce the size and quality of your harvest. The first warning signs. The good news is that powdery mildew usually gives you several warning signs before it becomes a serious problem. Watch carefully for tiny white or gray powdery spots on the upper surface of leaves, small circular patches that gradually become larger, slight curling or twisting of young leaves, yellowing around infected areas, white patches spreading to stems or flower buds. If you spot any of these early symptoms, don't wait. Every day you delay gives the fungus more time to spread to healthy leaves and nearby plants. The biggest myth about powdery mildew. Now let me share something that surprises many gardeners. Most people believe powdery mildew only develops because they accidentally watered their plants from above. That's actually a myth. Unlike many fungal diseases, powdery mildew doesn't need standing water on leaves to infect plants. Instead, it thrives in warm weather, high humidity, poor air circulation, and crowded plants. That's why even gardeners who water correctly can still end up with powdery mildew if their plants are growing too close together or airflow is restricted. Understanding this one fact completely changes how you fight the disease. Instead of focusing only on watering, you'll also need to improve air circulation and create conditions where the fungus struggles to survive. But that's only part of the story. Many gardeners unknowingly make several mistakes that allow powdery mildew to spread even faster, and some of the most popular home remedies online don't work nearly as well as people think. Next, we'll show you the biggest mistakes to avoid, reveal which treatments actually work, and explain how to stop powdery mildew before it ruins your harvest. Now that you know how to recognize powdery mildew, it's time to stop it before it spreads throughout your garden. The first thing you need to know is this. There is no miracle spray that instantly restores infected leaves. If someone promises you a one-time treatment that makes powdery mildew disappear overnight, be skeptical. Once a leaf has been damaged, the white patches usually won't vanish. The real goal is to stop the fungus from spreading and protect the healthy leaves that haven't been infected yet. Let's look at the biggest mistakes gardeners make. Mistake number 1, waiting too long. This is the most common mistake, and it's also the most costly. Many gardeners notice a few white spots and think, "I'll deal with it this weekend." By the weekend, those few spots have multiplied. That's because powdery mildew spreads through microscopic spores that are easily carried by the wind. They can also spread through insects, contaminated gardening tools, and even your hands after touching an infected plant. The sooner you act, the easier it is to control the disease. If you catch it early, you can often save most of your plant and protect the rest of your garden. Mistake number 2, leaving heavily infected leaves on the plant. If a leaf is covered with powdery mildew, it's already acting like a factory producing more spores. Don't leave it there. Using clean, sharp pruning shears, remove the worst infected leaves carefully. Place them directly into a bag and throw them away. Avoid tossing them onto the ground, where spores can continue to spread. If your compost pile doesn't reach temperatures high enough to kill plant diseases, don't compost heavily infected leaves. A few minutes of pruning now can prevent a much bigger problem later. Mistake number 3, poor air circulation. Remember what we discussed in part 1. Powdery mildew loves warm, humid, crowded conditions. If your tomato plants are packed tightly together, or your cucumber vines have formed a dense wall of leaves, you've created an ideal environment for the disease. Prune a few overcrowded branches to improve airflow. Follow proper plant spacing when planting. Good air circulation helps reduce humidity around the leaves and makes it harder for powdery mildew to spread. Sometimes, this simple change makes a noticeable difference. So, what actually works? Let's talk about treatments backed by research and widely recommended by gardening experts. Option 1. Neem oil. Neem oil is one of the most popular organic options for managing powdery mildew. It works best when you start treating the disease early, before it has spread throughout the plant. Spray in the early morning or late evening, and always follow the product label. Avoid spraying during the hottest part of the day, as that can damage leaves. Remember, neem oil won't repair damaged leaves, but it can help protect healthy new growth. Option 2. Potassium bicarbonate. Potassium bicarbonate is another effective treatment recommended by many plant specialists. It works by creating conditions on the leaf surface that make it difficult for the fungus to survive. Like other treatments, it's most effective when used as soon as you notice the first signs of infection. Option 3. Sulfur-based fungicides. Sulfur has been used to manage fungal diseases for generations. When used according to the label, it can be very effective against powdery mildew. However, avoid applying sulfur during very hot weather, and never combine it with oil-based sprays unless the product instructions specifically say it's safe. Using products incorrectly can harm your plants more than the disease itself. What about homemade remedies? If you've searched online, you've probably seen videos recommending baking soda, milk, or other DIY sprays. Do they work? The answer is, sometimes. Baking soda may help slow powdery mildew when mixed correctly and used early, but stronger mixtures can burn plant leaves. Milk sprays have shown promising results in some studies, and many gardeners report success, especially with light infections. However, neither is a guaranteed cure. Think of homemade remedies as part of a management plan, not magic solutions. One more tip. Most gardeners overlook. Whatever treatment you choose, don't spray once and forget about it. Powdery mildew often requires repeated applications because new spores can continue to develop. Follow the directions on the product you're using. Inspect your plants every few days, and treat early if new white spots appear. Consistency is what wins the battle, not a single spray. Now you know how to stop powdery mildew. But here's the real secret. The easiest powdery mildew to treat is the one that never appears in the first place. In the final part, I'll show you the simple habits that keep powdery mildew from coming back, answer whether vegetables from infected plants are safe to eat, and share a weekly routine that can save your harvest year after year. By now, you know how to identify powdery mildew and the best ways to stop it. But if there's one lesson experienced gardeners will tell you, it's this. The easiest disease to treat is the one that never gets a chance to start. With just a few simple habits, you can dramatically reduce the chances of powdery mildew returning to your garden. Let's go through them. 1. Give your plants enough space. One of the biggest causes of powdery mildew is overcrowding. When plants grow too close together, air can't circulate properly. Warm, humid air becomes trapped around the leaves, creating ideal conditions for fungal diseases. Whether you're growing tomatoes, cucumbers, squash, pumpkins, peppers, or flowers, always follow the recommended spacing for each plant. If your garden has already become crowded, prune away a few extra leaves or stems to improve airflow. A little extra space can make a big difference. 2. Water smart. Many gardeners think watering is the main cause of powdery mildew. As you've learned, that's not entirely true. However, good watering practices still help keep your plants healthy. Water at the base of the plant whenever possible instead of soaking the entire plant. Try to water early in the morning so your plants have the rest of the day to dry and grow under the best conditions. Healthy plants are naturally better at resisting disease. 3. Don't overuse nitrogen fertilizer. It's tempting to feed your plants as much fertilizer as possible, hoping for faster growth. But too much nitrogen often produces soft, lush leaves that are more vulnerable to powdery mildew. Instead, fertilize according to your plant's needs and avoid excessive applications. Balanced growth leads to stronger, healthier plants. 4. Keep your garden clean. Never leave badly infected leaves lying around your garden. Remove diseased plant material as soon as possible. At the end of the growing season, clean up old vines, leaves, and stems so the disease has fewer places to survive until next year. Also remember to disinfect your pruning shears after working on infected plants. It's a small habit that can prevent you from accidentally spreading disease from one plant to another. Can you eat vegetables from an infected plant? This is one of the most searched questions about powdery mildew. The answer is yes. In many cases you can. If the fruit itself is healthy, firm, and free from mold or rot, vegetables like tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, pumpkins, and squash are generally safe to eat after washing them thoroughly. The fungus usually affects the leaves much more than the fruit. However, if the fruit is soft, rotten, moldy, or badly damaged, don't risk it. When in doubt, throw it out. Your health is always more important than saving a single vegetable. A 5-minute weekly routine. If you want to keep powdery mildew under control, here's a simple routine you can follow every week. Take just 5 minutes to walk through your garden. Check both the tops and undersides of leaves. Remove any suspicious infected leaves immediately. Trim overcrowded plants if necessary. Treat early if you notice the first white spots. These few minutes each week can save you hours of work later and help protect your harvest. Powdery mildew may be one of the most common garden diseases, but it doesn't have to ruin your growing season. Remember these 5 key lessons. Catch it early. Remove badly infected leaves. Improve air circulation. Use proven treatments correctly. Focus on prevention instead of waiting for a serious outbreak. Do these consistently, and you'll give your plants the best chance to stay healthy and productive throughout the season. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It helps YouTube recommend this video to more gardeners who may be struggling with the same problem. If you're new here, subscribe to Grow Food Smarter and turn on notifications. Every week, I share practical, research-backed gardening tips to help you grow healthier plants, solve common garden problems, and harvest more food with confidence. I'd also love to hear from you. Have you ever dealt with powdery mildew? What plant was affected, and what treatment worked best for you? Share your experience in the comments below. Your advice could help another gardener save their garden. And before you leave, don't miss my next video. Stop yellow tomato leaves before they kill your harvest. If your tomato leaves are turning yellow, that video could save your plants before it's too late. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep growing smarter, and happy gardening.